Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Traders Around the World. Welcome to your live market morning trading with me, Z. I hope folks are doing well. Looking very much forward to navigating markets here with you and trading them here with you. It's already been a good overnight session, already got some gains on the board. Looking forward to building on that with you here. Big thanks to everyone that joined me for that special Triple S session yesterday. Hope that it was a good use of your time. Looking so much forward to continuing to build on that. And of course, looking forward to trading here with you. So looks like we are good to go. I'm just going to double check in the chat, make sure that everyone's getting the AV all good. So it looks good right now. And all okay. Thank you, Gus. Hey, good morning, Simon, Donna, Rodney, Suraj, Mario, Mykar, Karen J, Emma H, Tom, Subransu, Christian, Jimmy. Oh my God, it's just like everyone's right. Chew. Good morning. Good morning to everyone logged in. It's hey there, Mohammed, and well, hey there, Killian. Hey there, entrepreneur. Nice to see you here. All right, looking forward to seeing folks do well in this market morning. Hey there, Bill. Okay, let's get going, folks. So I've got everything up on my side. Seems like we are good to go. So let's make quick work of the pre-market briefing here. It's fairly straightforward, but a couple of risk disclaimers first. Everything that I do and say here is for education and insight purposes only. It's not meant as advice. I'm not a registered financial advisor or representative. You must consult yours before making any trading decisions. Trading involves risk, not just reward. Risk of loss. Trade with money you can wholly afford to lose. When I trade, it's always in line with my risk trading plan, which is unique to me and might not be suitable to you. Consult your registered financial advisor and get a risk trading plan. Whether I'm discussing past trades taken, doing live trades in front of you, coming up with plans and projections for future potential trades, whether I'm doing so with respect to a live cash account, a demo account, or prop trading account, it's all done for education and insight purposes only. It's not meant as advice. Finally, if I pull you in the chat and I give you an average response back to the poll, the sentiment there is not necessarily indicative of the sentiment of the entire group, just those responding. I don't audit the chat, so do take that stuff as anecdotal. Okay, I think we are good to go. So let's get boogieing. So I'm going to start off with just the top-down picture here of where the market is at. Let's do it with the light mode, plainclothes charts here. So here we go. So this is the S&P E-minis. As you know, it's a long-term uptrend channel that we are in. Starting back in October of 2022, we've come down to the center of the channel. We've perforated it. We've closed below it. The Nasdaq's been below it, and we've got pulled back up above it. What's going on? Well, in the overnight session to now, we've had Amazon, Apple. The net effect of both, my expectation was for a positive on the market. That was the case. It wasn't major. And then the Kospi had a short squeeze or some sort of a bounce that effectively is helping risk sentiment globally at this stage. So we do have a risk on-ish start to the market morning. What does that mean? Wallets are open. Folks are trying to buy. Some of it is short squeeze from across the world. Some of it is actual follow-on, knock-on buy. Now I'm going to zoom into the hard right edge over here so we can get a good sense of where the ES is. But the first and most important point is staying above the center of that long-term channel is the name of the game. We're well above it right now on the S&P 500 side. So the center of the channel is valued at around 7407, 7408, 7407 in that area. And we're well above it at this stage. We obviously got back up and above it yesterday. And we've got a little follow through today. We've made some inroads to higher highs. Now, if you remember from the beginning of the week, what my thought was is that we were going to be in a market that pushes up into this set of nested volume point of control lines here, the red and gray lines, and the bullseye was around the 75-50-ish area. I said, look, we might be able to poke our hairs above and make new all-time highs, but unfortunately, we did get a fairly significant down that we had to come back up off of, and that down did breach the center of that long-term channel. We did close below, and then we ripped right back up above it with a 1.65% move up on yesterday's market. So far today, it's up about 1/3%. Key lines from here. The mattress, the center of the weekly pivot range, 74.74, 74.58. This is a major support zone. We've dipped our toes into it. We've pushed back up off of it. We need to hold that support zone in order to be productive to the upside. We need to have this area held as support to be productive to the upside. Now, if we want to follow on higher, let's go break the daily bar into 5-minute increments, and you'll see a little red line poking up over here. I've already just got a little volume profile histogram in play, effectively getting above 75.07, which we've been above, is the ticket to start going higher faster. So shortly after the cash hour starts, if that's what we see, that's where, you know, there's going to be some productivity to the upside, likely 75.07 for us to see upside and continued longs. If we start coming back down below 74.74, which is 20 points lower than where we are right now, it's going to change the nature of the market. But a downtrending market is less likely to be in place until or unless we have broken below the bottom lip of the mattress, which are the thicker two purple and blue lines. These are the balance areas of the two types of pivot strategies that I've got. And these are weekly pivot calculations. Top of the weekly pivot range is up here, top right. Bottom right is the bottom of the weekly pivot range. So 74.74, danger below, 75.07, opportunity to the upside. Everything in between, the technicals are going to have our back along that ride. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart right now and get a sense of that. You can see that we were in a downtrending channel from the 16th of July. We've broken out above the top of that downtrending channel. We've come back to effectively back test the mattress, and we're trying to bounce up right now. And again, that number is 75.07 that we need to get above in order to continue higher. Is that likely? Well, let's go take a look at the S&P E-minis, and we'll do this on a multi-time frame basis. Let me just make it a little cleaner to read here. So we've got an hourly chart over here that's in a buy signal state. We've got a 5-minute chart that's in a weakened sell signal state. You can see over here we had a triple S sell signal, some oscillating signals, and then down the hatch we went below the bottom of the MSR channel. We're trying to get back up above it. We've got the blue dots above the bar, and the 1-minute chart is in a little bit of an extended buy signal state. But if you look at the absolute values of the triple S indicator in the subchart here on the right hand axis, we're coming up into we're in the mid to upper 40s. We're not technically extraordinarily overbought against the channel, against all of this. Yes, we are a little extended, but this channel will change shape, and of course, as time and price move forward. Right now, what we have to remark this as is uber bullish on a 1-minute chart. It's lifting the 5-minute triple S line back into the channel. We've crossed above the fast momentum line. It's keeping the 1-hour chart soldiers or triple S line in the uppermost quadrant. So this is bullish indeed. Now, that supports what? It supports a continued rise. Rise to where? Where are the barriers of resistance? Well, actually, if you look at the 1-hour chart a little more carefully, 74.99 is the slow speed line on the hourly chart. That's the first barrier of resistance. Technically, we are also dealing with, of course, the top of the MSR channel on the 5-minute chart at 96, but we're splitting hairs here. The upper 74.90s is minor resistance. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. The longer the time frame, the deeper and the more important the technical tracks that are laid down. 7,500 is the fast speed line on the 4-hour chart. It's in a sell signal state, unfortunately. But again, the upper 74.90s to 7,500, and we know 75.07 is that key resistance. On a daily chart, we've actually gotten into the upper half of the MSR channel. So things are looking good over there. The market has already started to move up. I am looking for a trade right out of the gates pretty much, but I haven't given you my insight on the NASDAQ yet. I was a little delayed this morning. My apologies. So I'm going to just give you the insight on the NASDAQ. We're almost at 75.07, by the way. We're at 75.03, so I might be taking a trade imminently, but I'll gauge it. The NASDAQ is back above the center of that long-term channel as well. When you take a look at the NQ, what are the key levels? Earlier in the week, what I said was, hey, and yesterday what you heard me say is, hey, I think we're going to push up to the 28,620-ish area. If we poke our hairs above, it opens up, all of this upside here. I don't think we're necessarily going to see all of that upside transpire. But the door is now open. And for the NQ, we've actually gotten above the waterline. It was around 28,560. And we're sitting at 610 right now. So we've actually opened the door to continue going up. We obviously need to get above the top lip of the mattress, which we've opened the door for. Let's go take a look at the 5-minute chart and zoom in on that. So there it is. Let's just pull that in a little bit more. So the line's right there for this pattern, which is consolidate to continue, right? The idea is we're not on a late stage uptrend. We're moving up. We're trying to consolidate so that we can continue. So the one line that we need to stay above at this stage is 28,565. And the one we need to get above is 620. And that's imminent as I speak right now. So let's go and see if I can get a trade-off on that. The ES is at 75.04. The NQ or MNQ, I'm going to trade the MNQ. I'm just going to speak about it as the NQ. You can see it on screen. It's poking above that 600 marker. There we go. I want to see that 619 breach. Okay, so I've got in. It's a 2-contract long. I'm trading an FFF account. Trades profit positive. I need 10 seconds under the timer in order to take profit, and I'm taking profit. Okay. So we're a little extended. First trade out of the gates, profit positive. Happy to see that. Looking forward to building on that as we speak right now. We are holding and continuing to push. I'm back in again. At this stage, it's a little extended, so I want to be very careful with the position. Fingers on the trigger to get out in case it starts going awry. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. See, we get a little push up over here and 2 trades out of the gates. Both profit positive, small size, but want to demonstrate for you right out of the gates where things are at and what we can potentially do right out of the gates. I'm just going to compress some of the charts over here so we don't have as much busyness on the screen. Now we're at 28,660 right now. The door that needed to open is open. Those that are on longs, both on the ES and the NQ side, it's still a maintain or a hold long. The upside pressure remains intact. It's not gone away. For those that are trying the longs right now, I'm going to try a long on the ES imminently. I've just tried one right now. I'll bring it on screen. So let's see if it's profit positive. It is, and I'm taking my profit of 37.50 on that trade. So you see me take 3 trades in a row. All 3 are profit positive. Effectively, I'm demonstrating to you the areas that we needed to get above where price can then start to have a little bit more motility to the upside, more productivity to the upside. And that's effectively what you're seeing happen. One that is holding on to the long right now. I don't see an issue with that at this stage. What I want to do is kind of gauge the overextendedness that we've got on the NQ and the ES. And I'm going to put the 5-minute charts side by side right now so that I can get a good sense of that and provide you my insight on it. I'll put the ES on the left-hand side, and I'll keep the NQ on the right-hand side over here. And again, my number one goal right now is to keep you safe. If you're long, I would be trailing a little tighter right now. Local resistance for the ES is we're on approach, 75.18. That happened in the pre-market around 5:15 a.m. Eastern time. The NASDAQ has broken above its local resistance, so it is, helping to lift the ES back up towards its highs, but the ES again is bound by that resistive structure. So we're coming into a local resistance structure on the primary market. One wants to be very careful. One wants to be very careful with their existing holdings on day trades on the long side, whether it be on the NASDAQ and especially on the ES. Now, can the NASDAQ just bust right through 28,700 and continue going? Let's go and take a look at this and see whether or not that is the case. Here we go. So the answer to that question will be really held on the larger time frame. So I just want to go double check where I'm coming up into. On the daily chart, we are coming into the bottom of the MSR channel. This is a resistive area. 709 is resistance, or 710 is resistance. 4-hour chart is pretty free and clear. It's an expensive bullish cross that's in play right now, but it is a bullish cross. Impulse to buy is strong, but we are coming into resistance. Now, think about it this way. When you're dealing with technicals and you go from a small time frame to a big time frame, the bigger the time frame, the deeper the technical tracks, the higher the hurdles are to get through. So if we get through 710, that door is open now for another rapid acceleration higher, which may make me want to take a trade. So we're about 8, 9, 10 points above that line right now. Just remember, we are still wading through the molasses, the heavy overhead resistance structure of the Champion Cross sell zone, but it's still in play right now. It's still trying to be breached. I think that it's a little stretched right now for my liking. And the ES is within 5 points of its resistance from about 5:15 a.m. So I don't think I'm going to take on another trade right now. And again, my insight to you, I'm just giving you my live narrative, live logical assessment is to tighten up stops. So right out of the gates, I want to see how folks have done. I'm hopeful. So I see some folks echoing 3 green trades. That's amazing. Now, quick question: were you able to get anything out of this right out of the gates, similar to what I was able to do? You let me know in the chat. You can do it with a lucky number 7 if you were able to make something out of this in the market morning. If you're learning along the way and you're enjoying the ride here, you can give me a number 8 in the chat. If you're executing and you're able to get something out of it, put a number 7 in the chat and share it with me. Wow. Okay. So folks have been taking the trades. Amazing. Like 95% of the responses in the chat are the number 7, and some are more detailed. Majinder, you're giving me you're giving me exact numbers of what you're gaining, which is amazing. I'm happy to hear that. So folks, well done. Now, take a deep breath. Let's figure out what's next. Do we have a pause to continue? Right. So the challenge level that I identified here for you was the 75.18 area on the S&P E-minis. We're at 75.11. We've done a great job of calling out what the earnings plays are likely going to do to the market, and we got the added benefit of some geopolitical coolness and major benefit from the Kospi getting a bullish reversal coming back up. And that, of course, has helped sentiment as well into the end of the week. So, it's a bit of a gift. This is still a marketplace that is overvalued, okay, that still has a big disconnect on, real valuation versus price, price at the index level and price of the on the surface versus what's coming in underneath on the income statement and what's held on the balance sheet. So that disconnect is there. It's not gone. We don't have a Fed put. We've got an economy that is trucking along, but no hire, no fire. Is there more disposable income coming in? Has the disposable income been eaten into by higher energy costs? The answer is yes. I don't see 3 steps that the market can build on to actually trend higher for a long period of time. I see this as a market that is just being held up, pushed up through earnings of Mag 7 stocks, which we see quarter over quarter, and then roll over. So my assessment was Microsoft was going to be a superstar for this week. You heard that on Monday. It was. My assessment was the net impact from both Amazon and Apple is likely positive. Apple did not, it fell from the tree a little bit, but Amazon did pick up that slack. So right now, you're seeing the market come back down again. I'm hopeful that folks got out of the way. Saw lots of number 7s in the chat, and then the question mark now is that it? Are we going to have another resumption here? So I want to just figure that out. I want you to know, though, the reason I brought that color into the conversation here, and it's very far away from what's really happening right now at this moment, is I want to set the expectation that goes back to what you heard me set at the beginning of the week, into the end of last week. I don't think that we're in a market that's getting ready to retrend higher. I think we're in an opportunistic move up through Mag 7 stock earnings, period. That's it. So, to be very clear on that, I'm going to take you to the daily chart of the ES again. Remember that channel, center of the channel, long-term channel, zoom in on the hard right edge over here. Okay, 75.07. We need to be above there in order to continue the upside. We know that the local high was at 75.18. We tried to rival that. We were not able to get above it. We called that out in advance, and I tried to help you kind of hit the brakes on longs, and looks like that was good. The question now I'm asking myself, and I'm going, did I miss it? We've obviously come down equally, from where we started at the open, and I have not caught any of this on the short side. So I'm sitting back thinking about what I want to do at this stage, and the longer I think, the faster it's moving down. So I don't want to chase it, but you can't deny that there was a very clear short opportunity as well here. At a bare minimum, I'm hopeful that you got out, as you were hearing the commentary and seeing my executions, and were able to lock in. And I saw lots of folks were able to do that. So that makes me feel comfortable. But the NASDAQ has come down below the 565 area. It's coming down to the bottom lip of the mattress now. This is dangerous. Right? This thing can unravel here. Now it's rivaling the bottom of the mattress. It's come down below the volume point of control here. So it was a pump and dump. Is the dump going to lead to a downtrend, or is it going to launch off of a base? We're not going to know. Danger below 518, yes. And again, below 450 roughly on the NQ, 450, and then again 420. Bigger danger. Where am I reading that? Volume profile histogram, 465. And then roughly the center of the node over here is at 415. So if we breach 518, which we just came down to but didn't break down below, we've got two lines that can help support us. Let's just see whether or not this move wants to resume here. And do I actually have the cred technically to take a resumption long? So that's what I'm wondering at this stage. And I'm looking for whether or not that makes sense to me. So bear with me as I figure this out. So we've obviously converted to a sell signal state. You can see the blue dots underneath the bar, which is coming from the triple S tool. We've got a strong impulse to sell. Triple S is now giving us that red triangle. Champion trend is in there as well. We've got that green dot on the spike 2.0 on the 5-minute chart, which means that this down against the primary up will be partially retraced back up or wholly plus retraced back up. So I'm a little more concerned about just jumping into a short. It would have to be very scalpy, of course. So I'm going to wait right now because I think that we've got an indication here that says an attempt to rebound back may actually take place. The 5-minute chart is back into a sell signal state from a triple S standpoint. The champion trend pack has still got the champion cross and the champion trend indicator, but I can't deny if we breach the 495 area, we're headed down to 465 to 415, right? Let's be realistic about that and see if I can get something here. If we breach it, I'm trying to take a trade on the breach. I'm in a short on the breach. I don't know if it's profit positive. I think I got it a little too late. Yeah, I got a little late, right? But it is profit positive at this stage, which is good. And I'm going to take that profit. Okay. So I've done, I don't know, 4 trades, 4 for 4 are winners, which is good. They're not big size, but they're demonstrating the entries. Is there continuation potential below here now? 465 is the line, right? We've already we just did the work. So the work is done. We've identified 465, which we're coming down to right now. So let's go back to the trading template. If we come down and breach 465, there is another 50 points of potential downside from there. And here we are, we breached it. I'm taking the trade again here. It's not profit positive this go around. It's a couple of micros I'm trading. And my finger's on the trigger to flatten it out. I'm going to take my profit at the 10-second mark. And I am doing that now. So now I think I'm, how many trades have I done? About 5, I think. All of them have been profit positive, and I hope that that's been useful for those that are making trading decisions live right now as well. And doing fairly well on the day overall. Currently up $1,192 on the day. I can share that with you if you want. So I did some trading in the pre-market, of course, and I did some trading live in front of you. And so far on the day, for my daily P&L, is sitting at 11.92 and 90 pennies. So I want to make sure I keep that, but I want to also do more live trades in front of you here. Angel, that's amazing, my friend. Well done. And Jimmy, that's a very good point. Bounce off the low of the day. That does make sense. 74.80 on the ES, right? We've done the work here to understand where the danger lines are, and we've already crossed one of them. We're coming down to 415. Like it's very likely. This is a pump and dump classic. The hard part about the dump now is, admittedly, I did not get into a short when I saw it ripping right back down. So psychologically, I was left in the spot where, I have to be very methodical about where I want to take the trade. So 460, 500, 465, 415. So we're at the 415 marker. We've just come down. I think we breached it slightly. We're trying to bounce up off of it right now. I'm not seeing a conversion in the signal state at all that tells me that it should just go straight up from here. But I am looking at both the ES and the NQ for insight on directionality. The ES 1-minute chart, NQ 1-minute chart look very similar. The ES has a slight differential. It's a little more compressed, trying to establish that support can hold, but still the sell signal is there. The triple S indicator is on a sell over there on the 1-minute chart. That happened here below the channel. We're in a sell state on the 5-minute chart, sell state on a 1-hour chart. No, not yet. Still have the double green dots. We're coming into rising support on the 1-hour chart. Now, you've heard me say the 1-hour chart's boss. It's the one that, the day trader must respect at the end of the day because it projects out 3 to 6 hours typically. And 74.77.5 is support. If we breach it, I might actually try a short right below there, because that would open the door to the center of the hourly chart MSR channel 67. So if the hourly chart shows me damage here now below 77.5, I'm going to try a short. We're very close to that entry area. I'm in a sell signal state on a 1-minute chart and a 5-minute chart, so that gives me permission to try it. This can also be where we have a whipsaw reversal back up. So very careful on this execution. I'm not front running it. I want to be comfortable with it. Still not comfortable with it. I'm seeing a little too much staying power. I don't have my double red dots above the bar from the triple S indicator, but I am below the MSR channel. It is sloping down. We are below the speed lines. We are in a sell signal state on a 1-minute chart and a 5-minute chart, and the hourly chart is threatening a breach into the upper half of its MSR channel below the top lip of the MSR channel, 77.5. I can then start looking for the short again, but I have to be comfortable with it. So I'm hovering over the sell button. I'm not seeing it break down below it. Let's see where we can go here. And again, remember, this only 17 minutes have passed from the cash hour start. Sometimes it feels like a universe of time because there's so much activity in the first little bit. So there's a full day in front of us still to trade, right? So no one has to be forced to go after every single move. So be measured and think clearly about what you need and what you want versus what you need. So I still think that there may be a trade short here. I don't know how long it's going to live. I do want to get the NASDAQ back on screen here. Yeah, it's supporting the move. So I'm going to hold the button down, clench it. I'm not letting it go to fire it off yet, but below 77-ish, I'm going to take it. And I need to see it work right away. If I don't see green in the account right away, so I saw green in the account right away, so I'm willing to stay in the trade for a bit. But if I don't see it be productive, it can go really wrong really fast, right? And are my 10 seconds up? Thank you very much. $100. I'll take that. So I'm going to take pieces, add them, add them, add them. Where are we going down to? Potentially all the way down to the center of the channel. There may be another 10 points to go. Okay, if you want to take a piece of that, it's up to the individual trader's risk tolerance. I would trail tighter because this is a rising support structure, but we're chipping away at it, and it's the NASDAQ that's pulling us below it. So the NASDAQ may actually be a cleaner ride here. The ES might be a slower move, but there might be actually more clean breakage that happens right here on the NQ, because what we're seeing on the NQ is very similar. This is the hourly chart on the NQ. Let me just expand that to full screen here for a moment. We've already breached the top of the MSR channel. We've tagged it at least. So below 320, the room down to 240 is open. So 320 to 240 would be the short trading range if it was to open up. I'm not convinced. Okay, I think that it'll be a slow motion erosion and then it'll be a drop. So I think we're in the slow motion erosion of the top of the 1-hour chart's MSR channel, but I need to see it drop, from there. So we've done the work. What do we know? Roughly 320 down to 240, right? 320 down to 240. We're not below 320, no short. Are we in a sell sequence that is strong enough to say that we're coming back down to 320? The answer on a 1-minute chart is yes. Breakout forecasters have presented, but this positive momentum shift is there as well. Okay, 320, just got tagged. Fingers on the trigger. I'm going to do it with just one here because the adage is never shorten the hole. We've already dug a hole. Okay, so the miners that are digging, this is all new territory if they're going to keep digging and going lower. So I want to be very careful with the next entry. And you saw me getting very close and ready to do it. Wealth charts, again, helped me out. Positive momentum shift. It's the momentum shift 2.0. Green ball, white line. It's part of the Wealth Chart member exclusive tools. On top of the champion trend pack, we got another positive momentum shift, and we're not breaking down. So the insight is wait, there's no execution. It could very easily come back down. We're still in a sell signal state. We did get a breakout forecaster on the last 1-minute bar. We're in stage 2 of the sell sequence, the CTP sell sequence on a 5-minute chart. Wealth signal is there. Champion trend, champion cross is there. So, no illusions of it reversing back up and just being a magical up V-shaped bounce. No illusions of that. It's more likely to come back down again, but there's no trade right now. Little question for the room as we come into the last 10 minutes of this hour. Were you able to keep what you made? It's a yes or no question. Were you able to keep what you made? For those who traded, were you able to keep what you made? And Daisy Hand, I saw a comment that you put in there. At like 9:40, about to lock this account, else you'll buy again, right? So I think that you may have been referring to locking out yourself from being able to trade the account after you made the gain, right? That's also a very smart thing in certain instances. Like we did breach on the ES well into the upper half of the MSR channel, and we ripped right back up. Right, so I got a little trade out of it. I didn't maximize it all the way down, but we ripped right back up. This is rising support, right? So we breached the 77.5. We came down. We didn't engage with the center of the channel. The real next leg down would be signaled by price breaching below 66 on the ES. Sell signal is starting up again. Let's see if it's similar on the NQ. Answer is yes. I don't like the fact that we have a bullish speed line cross and no breakout forecaster on the last closed 1 minute bar. That's a bit of a tell that this is a head fake. That move down on that bar was a bit of a head fake, not really a follow through yet. It's still, odds are on the side that it comes down again. Okay, but where I take the trade is what matters. And I think I'm going to do it again, only below 320. So below 320, if I'm comfortable, I'll execute. I'm hovering over the button. I'm looking for an aggressive move down to 320. We're at 330, 320. We breached it by a point and ripped right back up. I haven't executed yet, and I still haven't executed, and I'm executing now. Okay, now the risk here is that it rips right back up. I want to be very careful with it. Fingers on the trigger to get out. And you know what? I'm out. I think that was a scratch or a slight win. I should be seeing it unravel. Now, it might just be a matter of time, but we're also coming close to the end of the hour, and I want to be careful here. As you move to the top of hours, end of hours, there are mechanical things that happen in the market, Fridays in particular as well. So strategy is going to come off the tape that's on the short side. They have to buy to cover, and something counterintuitive happens. I don't want to be caught in that. It's more important into the end of the 10 a.m. hour, top of the 11 a.m. hour. But let's see if I can get another. I think I missed my opportunity. I feel like I'm chasing it if I do it here. Yeah, for me, I'm probably gonna have to sit this one out at this moment because I do feel like I'm chasing it and I'm seeing it be a little whippy, wanting to come back up. We're very oversold, right? And no breakout forecasters, but the fast speed line is back below the slow. That's the blue line. It's below the magenta again. We are in a sell signal state on a 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart. The 1 hour chart is breached into the MSR channel, the upper half of the channel, but it needs to stay below 322, 323 in order to be a valid short. Now, if you look at the bottom right-hand side of the screen over here, the triple S indicator, the red line, remember, they're the soldiers. We want to see the soldiers below the bottom of the channel. And we know that the king and the queen, the blue line, has not completed the move into the lower half of the channel. Now, it doesn't have to do that by the end of this hour, but that move is still likelier to happen. Similar on the 5 minute chart. The soldiers have come all the way back down. They are tasked to bring the king and the queen into the safety of homeland, which is the lower half of this 4-quadrant channel. So we haven't seen the blue line, which is the king and the queen, the slow momentum line, move down into the upper half, into the lower half. That's a likely outcome, but it doesn't have to be direct. We can have a counter trend bounce first. Now, it would be easy if it was direct, obviously. Well, maybe not even easy because trading is not easy. We'd be in a very oversold state, so one would have to be trailing it very tightly or be able to execute and exit very quickly. You've heard me negotiate myself out of making that trade. It could have been a 25, 30-point trade, but it wasn't worth taking the risk at this stage, and I'm glad I didn't. We can see what's happening right now. It's as important to know when not to make the trade as it is to make the trade. And Fuad, you're absolutely right. We are getting it's the UOM, right? University of Michigan consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. And data is data. Data can disrupt technicals. Data can enhance the existing move, right? So thank you, Fuad. I appreciate that. And I want to see what else folks are saying over here. Bear with me for a moment. Ken T, I'm happy to hear that. Amazing. Ken T was just telling me he passed an account. That's amazing. And I'm looking back, and Bob H, funded with FFF. I'm happy to hear that. And Jen T, a 250K account. Amazing. High five to you. That's really well done. Wow, folks did well. I've seen so many great results. I'm not going to read everyone's name out, but I'm just remarking a few things that catch my eye in the chat, because the last question I asked you is, did you keep what you made? And the majority response I'm seeing is a yes, which is amazing. I don't think I saw a single no. I don't think I saw a single no. And Wesley, yeah, this is every day. You like what you're seeing? Come back if you want. Okay. And Suraj, sure, I can discuss the pre-market trades, absolutely. And Gus, I see a question that you had in earlier. I'm going to see if I can address that while we're kind of moving through the session. Otherwise, bring it back up to me, of course. Okay. Let's see what the next move here is best to do. Okay. So I think I've taken maybe about 6 trades. I know 5 of them for sure have been winners. The last one was a scratch, I think it was. Because I got out of the way, even though I was trying for that last little drop. And Tim P, that's a good, that's a good thing to recognize, right? The ES may be more suitable, for certain folks. The NQ might be more suitable for other folks, right? And Min, that's a good question. I'm not going to go long here until I see real clearance of resistive structures, because the lesson, and I'm glad you asked that question, Min, because the big picture insight for a day trader right now is that we are in a kill zone. So what is a kill zone? Falling resistance on top of price, the speed lines, I'm just highlighting them, on top of price, rising support underneath price, which is the channel. You see it right there, the green lines. So this is a kill zone. We can get whipsawed. The hourly chart's in a kill zone. That's a problem for a trader, right? That can create whipsaws, and some folks have faced that whipsaw. But if we come down below, again, the bottom lip, it's still a kill zone. Down to the center, it's still a kill zone, right? We start coming down below 28,220, then it's an unravel type moment. But we're not there, so we don't need to theorize any further. We know that there's a marker there. We know below there we're not in a kill zone, we're in a drop zone. Right now, the 1 hour chart's in a kill zone. So if you don't have the perspective of multi-time frame, you can get blindsided, because you're looking at the 1 minute chart. And what I hope I've taught and shared with you is the Champion Trend Pack Toolkit has a sequence, 3 stages. Stage 1, Champion Trend, Champion Cross. Stage 2, let's just make this full screen. And just make sure that that lesson is, always up in front of you. So Champion Trend, that's the sell zone plaque, right? That's the sell zone plaque with the trail line, right? Champion Cross, the opaque red zone with the dot at the bottom of the main chart. Both of those were engaged right there. Both of them were live right there. Champion Trend first, Champion Cross next with the dot, right? Triple S came in between there. You can see the Triple S down triangle right there, okay? And the Triple S still shows double red dots above the current bar. This is a 1 minute chart we're looking at, but we got into stage 1 of the CTP sequence officially on the 9:42 a.m. 1 minute bar. Then Wealth Signal came in and breakout forecasters came in. We jumped directly to stage 3, but then we ended. So breakout forecasters are the dashes, Wealth Signal is the orange ball. We went directly into stage 3 from stage 1 of the sequence, from 9:42 to 9:46. And then no more breakout forecasters after this bar. No more breakout forecasters. And then we had a bullish speed line cross, which would mean the end of the sequence. But then it resumed partially. And then it went off. And now it's trying to resume again. in order for me to be comfortable taking the trade, I need to break through a structure of support. So there's one right there, 290, 295-ish. It's a positive momentum shift. So I can try it there. Just know that we're still in a kill zone. If I try this trade, whipsaws are, fairly common. Well, let me see if I can get it properly. We breached it. We bounced right back up off of it. And what I don't like about this trade is what I'm seeing with the triple S tool and the Spike 2.0 tool on the bottom of the screen on the 1-minute chart. I need to see that blue line below the bottom, nose to ground. I need to see the triple S line breach the bottom of the channel. Now, I haven't seen that, so this is not a great trade. I'm not doing that now. I'm just going to wait. And the consumer confidence data, Ravi, you're saying, was it a positive? Well, Albert L, I'm happy, because we're using exactly the stuff that we learned yesterday in the Triple S class to help with the decision right now. I want to see the soldiers say, okay, back down below the bottom of the channel. Because we're in a deeply oversold condition. And what we're dealing with right now is a completion of a move or not. Are we going to bring the king, the queen into the lower half of the channel or not? And Triple S is almost back down below the bottom. It's engaging with it, nose to ground on the blue line. I can take an execution here. I can try it. But if it doesn't work directly or right away, it can become a loser that ends up being, painful. So I don't like what I'm seeing right now. I'm out of the money about 20 bucks or so on this micro, but I'm holding it, waiting to see if I get some more product. There we go. Thank you very much. Just going to continue scraping profits. Going to keep scraping profits. So another winner right there. Those who are still holding the trade. Where is it coming down to? We're still in a kill zone. Be very careful. The hourly chart's got support at 28,247. 28,247. Okay, so there could be another 40 points of downside, but it's an expensive 40 points. It's an expensive 40 points. Hey, Carrie Ann, can I read out what you wrote in the chat there? Because I know that's shameless endorsement for me, but it's also a good thing for other folks to hear. So you let me know if you're comfortable with that, and I will. Oh, okay. So Carrie Ann writes, I started joining your live events last week. I had nearly blown my PA and eval. I've recovered those accounts thanks to the guidance and implementation of the Champion Trend Pack to help guide my decision-making for better entries and exits. Solid. Right? If you're taking the toolkit seriously and you're following using the right tools, high probability tools, following the rules, it tends to work out more often than not. Okay, so as far as tends to work out more often than not, is this a good time for a drop zone? Below the center, below 220, we should have a drop zone to the bottom of the MSR channel or lower. So it's up to the trader at this stage. We're likely, based on the signal set that we're dealing with, nose to ground on the Spike 2.0, 1-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 1-hour chart, triple S is below the bottom of the channel. Permission to be in a short is there. Why am I not in one? I feel like I'm chasing it at this stage, but I did take one in this area. So now I'm deciding whether or not I want to do it again or not. Again, number one goal is, keep what you made, right? So I continue to be adding to my tally on the day. Now I'm at having trouble reading it, 1,285 bucks. So those that are in the short right now, your target is 20 points lower. It's the Champion Trend sell zone trail line, buy zone trail line on the 1-hour chart. It's at 224 to be specific, which we've nearly arrived at. Expect a bounce there. Don't expect it to slice right through. Expect a bounce there. If it slices right through, shorting may become a thing, but it can dip and bounce real quick. So be very careful in this area. I am going to be reserved here. I'm going to not take the trade at this moment. Pardon me for a second. I just have to go off screen to adjust my human cooling devices. Sometimes I overheat, so I have fans. I just need to turn them on. Oh, that's so much better. It feels like a cool summer breeze now. All right. with all the screens and all the lights, there's a wave of heat hitting me all the time. And then, of course, we all know that when you use the noodle, the wet matter in between the ears, it tends to generate a lot of heat. Hopefully that heat also turns into light, which so far today has been the case. So Rajan, I see a request there for precious metals, euro. We can have a discussion on it in just a sec. Right now, I want to keep focused on the next potential trade if we breach the champion trend buy zone trail line, and break it. There's another short to be had, and I want to see if I can catch it. And then here we go. I'm trying it right here, right now. I don't want it to whipsaw on me. Don't want to see the green bar. I want to see a red bar. There it is. Profit positive again. I'm past the 10 seconds. I'm taking my profit. Thank you. There we go. Donna, I'll just give you the layout code, okay? I'll just give you the layout code right now. So you can pop this layout right up right now. And it's my pleasure to do that for you, dear. Export layout. Copy. And I'll just put it in the chat right here. Okay, so it's in the chat. Okay, so we broke it. I missed my entry, but we whooshed, did we not? Did anyone catch that short? Let me know. Did anyone catch that short? Let me know. There's probably going to be another resumption here, but we are now engaging. Gus, you did amazing. Amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. Bart, kudos to you, my friend. Well done. Bart's letting me know, pass another PA. Amazing. Vivian, good job. You're still in the short, Emma. The credentials to remain are still there. Still there. At this stage, if one wants to continue shorting, just understand that there is a drop zone that we've already dropped down to. I'm through. Where's the next support structure? 4-hour chart. Sitting at 28,084 points. We're at 28,130. So the bottom of the MSR channel on the 4-hour chart would be the next technical support structure. So potentially there could be 40, 50 points. We are a little oversold. Watch the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Watch the triple S line. Watch the fast spike line. If the triple S line starts to point up and the fast spike points up but gets up to the yellow line, center of its channel, the move is probably going to have a counter trend bounce, which I'm worried about at this stage. So those that are still in the short, this is a good time to trail a little tighter. It's not over. It's not over. It's not signaled over, but it's a good time to trail a little tighter. I want to see if I can catch any more on the downside if I really want to challenge myself here. But do I need to? No. I'm going to find another moment. Randy, I'm happy to hear that. Amazing. Chris D, you took 20 points on it. Happy to hear that. Amazing. Ed C, happy to hear that. That's great. Amazing. And Killian, you're doing great over there. I'm happy to hear that. Good job. All right. So now what? Now we've already kind of assessed where, what, when, how, all that kind of stuff. I want to bring up, an important tool that I produce for ATR members. It's the key decision level sheet. But I also want to see if I can catch a piece of this move because it's continuing. So I'm going to try it again here. I'm in. It went profit positive right away, but it's not staying that way. And we're coming back up above that positive. I'm out. Right? It can come back down again, but I'm trying to demonstrate, hey, if one is trying to take it on right now, this is going to be expensive. It'll probably still come down to the 80-ish area, but it'll be a quick jaunt down and then a rip back up very likely, which, it's not far off of what we're seeing on this bar, right? there's another 20 points below the bottom of this bar. So let's go over to the ES for a second here. Okay, I want you to just look at the location of price action on the ES for ES traders. And for ES traders, of course, you've got your key decision level sheet on your side here. Let me just bring that up right now. So we're at what, 74.35? We're in our submerged zone. We're in the submerged zone, right? 74.36, 35 in this area. It is part of our submerged zone. Now, the next leg down, wholesale would be signaled if, the way this tool works is 74.75 is home. You're on the highway to the dock where your boat and your scuba gear is at 68. At 56, you're getting off the off-ramp to get to the dock. At 43, you're parked at the dock. At 35, you've got your scuba gear on and you're on the boat. At 21, you're dangling at the edge of the boat to go dive. Below 21, you're diving for the golden magenta treasure. So the next wholesale move down would be, below 21. Where are we? Not at 21. Okay. We've come right to the edge of the submerged zone. We came very, very close, right? We got down to what, 33-ish? And now it's pausing. Let's respect the pause. Let's acknowledge that it's still in a sell signal state. And by the way, in the Triple S session yesterday, I mentioned that, the second highest probability pattern beyond the PTC pattern is the slingshot pattern. I'm seeing, a version of it right here on the screen, which is obviously what happened at the beginning of the day. We had an up, took us above the MSR channel. We had a down, took us down to almost below, and no separation by more than 3 bars in this pattern. And down the hatch it went right away on the next bar with the double dots. This is a very powerful, it's the second highest probability pattern out there for the Triple S toolkit. And it obviously worked. But seeing it live in market like that, and seeing it work so effectively is always something that's nice to have. And I want to just make sure that CNC is connected for you. It's not quite the same on the NQ. It was very clear on the ES. On the NQ, we didn't come down on the down signal bar below the MSR channel, but we did on the very next bar with the double red dots above there and a range breaker, right? And then champion trend, wealth signal, then breakout forecasters. We're still in stage 3 of the sell sequence on a 5-minute chart, right? You still have, the last closed 5-minute bar has a breakout forecaster. We still have the double red dots. The job of bringing the king and the queen into the lower half of the channel, at least on a 1-minute chart, is still not complete. Now, it usually completes. On a 5-minute chart, it's not complete either. We have not seen the blue line come down through the center. Remember, this is something that we discussed intently during that private detailed Triple S session yesterday. So there's still likely more downside. It's not too many questions. The question is, do I want to take a piece of it or not? Down to what, 28,080 odd points. I'll leave that for the braver. But for those who are trying it, it is a valid trade. All right. Just be very careful. You've deeply oversold. Now we're coming down into a support area from a larger time frame. Yes, the 1-hour charts, broken all of its support structures pretty much. It's done, right? The MSR channel is even starting to slope down. We identified, 220, 223 as a drop zone line. We're not in a kill. The words I used was, we're in a kill zone until that line is breached and or broken. We come down and we breach it. We're in a drop zone. So you would have heard that and you saw the drop zone. So now, as we know that there's always going to be some support, some resistance, unless we're at all-time highs, which we're not right now, obviously. The 4-hour chart tells me that there is support at 28,082 points. And then what does the daily chart tell me? There's support at 28,010 points. That's the slow speed line right there. The slow speed line. So see that little green line that just popped up over here? That's wealth charts telling you that there's a positive divergence between these two lows. Now, this is a 1-minute chart, which we know is flimsy. Right? We know it's flimsy, but it is either the leading or the bleeding edge. So what does this do for me? If we come down below this positive divergence, it will solidify my resolve to try a short. While we're above it, I don't want to be short. Right? We can have a counter trend bounce that forms imminently. That's an impressive result, Rajan. I'm happy to hear that. Hey there, Naveed. Okay, here we go. Are we going to breach it? If we breach it, I'm going to try a trade. We came down to it. We tested the positive momentum shift and we breached it. I'm trying a trade right away. So I'm in. I want to see if we get some productivity below. We know where we're getting down to, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold it for the full 10 seconds here, but I'm holding it, and I'm going to take something in the teens of profit. Okay. Why did I do that? Well, we're coming into support of the 4-hour charts, bottom of the MSR channel. Okay, now we come down below that 80 marker, 28,081 and a half points. It opens up another range to the short side. We've done the work. We know where that is. The daily chart has support of the slow speed line sitting at 28,000 and about 8 points. So we'd have to come down below 28,000 and about 80 points, and it opens up potentially 70 points for another move down, potentially. How's everyone doing right now? Just want to double check, make sure that folks are okay. I'm very hopeful that, as you're continuing to try to gain with shorts, you're being more measured right now. You're being very responsible because we are in a deeply oversold state. The move is almost complete. It's not done yet, but I'm seeing the blue line intersect with the center of the channel here, which in some cases is enough, at least for a counter trend bounce to form. And we can see that the triple S line has moved up into the channel. The fast spike is above the yellow line. No shorts, right? This is a clear telling you just stay away right now. If it reverses, which it has a higher probability to come back down, we know the line to short below, which is 28,000, about 80 handles, 81 points, roughly the bottom of the MSR channel on the 4-hour chart. You did, Bart? Wow. That was a brave trade, my friend. And Robbo, this is exactly, I'm glad you put that comment in, right? And good. I'm happy to hear you did it, Bart, on MNQ. And Robbo, the comment on working on discipline is integral here, right? What I just did was I took a little short. It was just barely over 10 seconds. It was profit positive, but I was looking at the features of behavior on the 1-minute chart, the spike 2.0, the triple S, and we're seeing signs that say, watch your back on the shorts. We can have an oversold bounce, and it's happening, right? It's fairly strong. Right? We've moved up 100 points on the NQ over a 2.5-minute period. So this is a very strong counter trend bounce, and it may have legs to go further. Now, those that are trying to play the pop up off the low, as I know some of you have, hint, hint, Bart, two separate trades. Amazing. That's good. So that's great. The question now is this counter trend bounce going to mark the end of the down, right? So I'm still always trying to look 3, 4, 5 steps forward. We're back above the MSR channel bottom on the 1-hour chart. If we get above the center of the MSR channel, which is not that far away, 28,240-ish, we can start solidifying the insight that this is a turn that's going to be around for a while, minutes to an hour. We don't know that yet. All this is right now is a counter trend bounce that could butt its head up against the breakout forecaster that last presented at 235, just near and underneath the center of the 1-hour chart's MSR channel, and get whacked back down, or it could just plunge from where it is. I doubt that it's going to plunge from where it is based on the progress that I'm seeing on the triple S line. The red line, the soldiers, have come from under the channel back into quadrant 1, and they've crossed above the generals. So triple S students, what's happening here? The soldiers are talking to the generals, and the generals are saying, go grab the king and the queen and bring them back home. So this is a bounce up that is likely to continue. Look at the soldiers coming into the second quadrant. Likely the soldiers will go and engage with the blue line center of the channel, and then try to pull the king and the queen back down again. That's the likely outcome. On the 5-minute chart, we're pretty much right on top of the center of the channel. So all of this is fair game. It's a bounce up to grab the king and the queen, grab the slow momentum line, and pull it back down. Those that are trading the long out right now, all the power to you. Just be very, very careful, right? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help give you the insight so those that are trying it can manage well. If I see that triple S line shoot back into quadrant 1, it's time to get out of the short long if one is in it. If I see the fast spike lead all of that and get below the yellow line on the 1 minute chart, it's certainly time to get out of the short, out of the long. My apologies. Now, I'm not taking the long. I haven't traded it. You can see that fast spike's coming to the center of the channel, the yellow line. It's trying to breach it. Triple S has come back down into quadrant 1. Right? And that's the risk with trying to play the counter trend. But there was a negotiation here. Soldiers were talking to the generals. The red line is the soldiers. The dashed white line are the generals. The blue line is the king and the queen. The channel's geography. And we've come from underneath the bottom of the channel into quadrant 1. The soldiers have negotiated with the generals or been sent on orders to go grab the king and the queen. They're still trying to do so. Okay, we're probably going to have another pop up again now. Probably. I don't want to trade it, though. And that pop up could take us up to 28,250, 240. We're at 220, 230 right now. So you heard in advance, we're probably going to have a little pop up. Here's your pop up. We're at 240 right now. So 240 to 250 was my assessment. If we breach the top of the resistive structures on the 1 minute chart, which would be at 280 into 282 in totality, perhaps we're going to have a little bit more of a run, right? And exactly, Bart, if you're going against the bigger picture move, take profits often and soon, right? It's a very start when you look at it on the plain clothes chart, just side by side. All right, this is the ES on the left-hand side. It's the NQ on the right-hand side. It is very V-shaped looking, right? Or at least the beginning of it. Here's a quick lesson. We don't know that this turn is actually going to mean anything until it retraces a particular amount of the range. Well, how do you figure that out? Go over to your drawing tools, go over to Fibonacci, go to Fibonacci retracement, try to get the exact high down to the exact low. Okay, and it's usually 38.2% or 50% where you're going to have a more solid insight. So we'd have to get above 28,330 to 28,400. Getting into this range, you've got a solid insight that this is a turn that can actually mark the bottoms in for the morning. We don't know that yet. And for the ES, very similar. I'll do the same thing. Drawing tools, Fibonacci, retracement. And why does this work? Because everyone uses it. All right, we're just looking at pictures on a chart and mathematical measurements that other people and mainly machines use to help with decisions on keep the pedal to the metal or hit the brakes on the move. So for the ES, we'd have to get above minimum 74.61. For the NQ, minimum we'd have to get above 28,330. So there's a long way to go on either side. And what I'm remarking is if we get above those numbers respectively, ideally both coincidentally at the same time, but if we get above those numbers, this is a V-shaped bounce that has legs, or it will simply come up to the halfway marker and then start to consolidate to get ready to continue back up. So we don't have that insight, but I wanted to show you how you can identify whether or not this turn is actually going to be solid. Is it going to actually be a retracement that matters? I hope that was of some use. So I'll leave those markings on the chart for now. And we are still seeing a little rise here. We're at 74.50 on the ES. We're at 28,210-ish on the NQ. Back above 235. Very high risk longs could be considered. And above 749, 74.49, 74.50. Very high risk longs could be considered again on the ES. It's not letting go of that little bounce that it's in right now. And here's what it looks like technically, right? The fast speed line has crossed above the slow. And remember, the champion trend pack has a predictable outcome when stage 3 of the sequence is over, right? I've taught the lesson over and over. I want to make sure that you hear it, see it again, right? We had champion trend and champion cross and wealth signal all go live on the 9:45 a.m. 5-minute bar, right? We were in stage 2 of the sequence from 0 to stage 2 right away. Then we moved to stage 3 with the breakout forecaster. Had an absence of 1 bar with a breakout forecaster, not a big deal. Another one came in, another one. Now we've had an absence of the last close bar, the current live bar. And the insight is, after the last breakout forecaster that presents, if you have space of 2 to 3 bars with no breakout forecaster, and in this case, because we're in a sell sequence, you have a bullish speed line cross, the sequence is over. What is the predictable outcome when the sequence is over? We don't know that yet. Like, we haven't seen this bar close. It's still got another 3 minutes left to go of its life. So it could very easily just fall back in, and speed lines can cross back down. But if we remain with no breakout forecaster and the fast speed line remains above the slow, we are likely to come back and test the last, second, third last breakout forecaster. Could be more. On a 5-minute chart, usually the last 3 are tested, and it can happen all at once. It can happen individually. We've already tested the last, not quite the second last. The third last is still left to be tested, and that's sitting up at 315. So there is a pocket here where there is predictability for a long. Okay, that there's not too many questions on that. It exists. It's there, but it's an expensive one, right? Because it's trying to get off the mat. You can think about the boxer that's been knocked down, and the ref is sitting there counting. The count is probably around 6 or 7 right now. The boxer better get up soon if he or she's going to get up. And I know folks are going to try the long. If you're going to try the long, above 260 to play to 315, 320 is a cleaner trading space for the long. So I'm just going to dock this now and bring back the other time frames. And you can see it. It's actually 265, right? 265 or higher. It's a cleaner trading space for a long to go up and test this third last breakout forecaster on the 5-minute chart, which is also very coincident with the top of the MSR channel on the hourly chart. So it's going. I haven't traded for a little bit. I know we're coming into the center of the hour, which can all, have some mechanical changes that may be counterintuitive to the technicals. But I am going to try a long if we breach the top of this range over here. Probably, I'm considering it. And Gerardo, you're right. On the ES, we above 74.50, there is viability for a long, right? We did the work moments ago here using the retracement, right? So above 74.49 to 50, I said there's availability. Above 235, there's availability. The ES seems cleaner, right? We've already departed. We're coming into the underbelly of the mattress, so be careful. But you're absolutely right. Green triangle is on. Right. We're trying to get above the MSR channel on the ES right now, and use your key decision level sheet to your advantage as well, right? Where are we located right now? Are we in our submerged zone? No, right? We're trying to get on the highway to head back home. We're not above 74.56, but we're close, right? We just tagged it. So, and of course you can get that each morning. And yeah, it's working very well today, actually, Anthony. I haven't brought it up. I know there's so much going on, and there's so many new folks. So I'm trying to keep the reins on how many things that we look at. Not to a minimum, but to a reasonable amount. Chandra, you got profit on that trade above 49? Amazing. I'm happy to hear that. And Kendall, this is exactly what should be happening in a retracement that has some legs. right? We still don't know that the retracement is super solid, right? We've already, that's why I did the work here for you. I said, look, if we get above the 38.2% retracement, I'm not sure folks can read that, so I'll just make it a little bit bigger here. All right, the 38.2% retracement is the number at a bare minimum that you need to get above to really have a solid insight that this is a retracement that will last. There's obviously a long side trade available above the first retracement line, the 23.6, and it's worked out on the ES, it's worked out on the NQ as well. Getting above the 38.2 really solidifies here. We have to get above, close with a 5-minute bar above there. And the insight is we're probably going to be in a stronger retrace. I don't know if it'll go all the way back up to highs, but once we're above the 38.2 with a 5-minute bar close, ideally with both of the majors above there, it's very likely that we've put the low in, right? So the next move could be a consolidate and then continue, could be a continuation V-shape up, but we're not there on either account yet, right? So we have to be patient with it. And there's your little poke above and whack-a-mole back down. Did we test the third last breakout forecaster? No. But look, the end of the sequence happened, right? Breakout forecaster presented on the 10:15 a.m. 5-minute bar. That was the last one. Then an absence of 1 bar, an absence of 2 bar, a bullish speed line cross. The sell sequence we were in is over. It can resume. Based on the nature of the downtrending market, the primary focus should be, let's qualify what a resumption short should look like here. And it's fairly straightforward. Now, on the 5-minute chart, getting below the speed lines, not quite enough. Yes, getting below the speed lines, having a 5-minute bar close below both the speed lines, but getting below the center mass of the turn would be what's important to me. So I'd be looking for something in and around the 160 to 140 area, but it's not happening. If that does happen, the resumption short can become solid. The reason I think that we're probably not going to see it is I'm seeing the S&P E-minis pick up the slack for the NASDAQ and pull the NASDAQ up. It's already more advanced in its retracement. It's breaching above the 38.2% retracement line, right? It's helping the NQ get up to its 38.2% retracement line. So, the ES is doing some of the cleanup job or picking up slack and thrusting up. I think, Fuad, if buyers are truly going to come in, it's that song, we're halfway back, we're halfway there, living on a prayer. I like the 38.2% retracement line as a solid insight that the lows are in. I like breaching above the 50% retracement line to know that it's likely we're going to retrace another major leg above the 61.8 or more. So I don't know any of the two right now. So I have to be objective to understand where the resumption short can take place. And I've already qualified that on the NQ, somewhere between 28,160 and 140, depending on behavior, how fast we move back down, whether we have more signals, it becomes an opportunity for a resumption short. And what would the resumption short on the ES be? Below 48, so 10 points lower. I think it would be a little more than that, probably below 45. 45 to 38, somewhere in that area. I think 45 would be good enough because we'd be below all structures of support on the 1-minute chart. But the resumption short, somewhere between 45 and 38 would become transactable on the short side for the ES. So all I'm doing is just qualifying. If we get a resumption short opportunity, what is it? Where can it go live? We've already done the work on the long side, and I've already said to you, hey, I will consider trading that pocket between roughly 265 to 315. I don't like this, but I am seeing a rise that's trying to take us up above there. I think it's a trap. Now, the Spike 2.0 tool also, a little lesson here on it. Making complete moves is what really works here. These partial pivots inside the channel don't usually work out, but I can't deny where we are. We just made a slightly higher high. And Triple S is giving me that green triangle tentatively on a 1-minute chart. And the ES is already above its 38.2% retracement. It's pulling the NASDAQ up. So I am seriously considering a trade here up to about 315. I'm trying it right now. I'm in. It didn't go profit positive right away, but it's trying to. So I'll work with it for a bit, but I don't like what I'm seeing. And it's a high risk trade. We know that. I'm out. Forget it. Not interested. Didn't really do much damage there. So still up about 1,200 and over 40 bucks. So I want to keep what I made. I gave it a shot. I demonstrated. I didn't see follow through. You saw me risk manage myself out of it almost instantaneously. Well, 10, 20 seconds after it. Could it present itself again? Of course it can. We are above structures of resistance on a 1 minute chart. Triple S is in a buy. The ES is trying to pull the NQ up. The ES is holding above 61 and a half. And that's the 38.2% retracement for it. And it's trying to pull the NQ up to its 38.2% retracement marker. And again, if and when both are above their respective 38.2% retracement markers, we'll probably be able to say, yeah, the lows are in for the morning, maybe for the day. Above the 50% retracement markers, we're going to take another third of the range. We're going to retrace probably another third of the range up. So the ES is doing a fine job. You know, those who are trading it, those who use Triple S, for example, you know, off the 1 minute chart, don't be cavalier about the trade, right? It's still got blue dots above the bars, right? Even though we're on a buy signal, we still got blue dots above the bars. We're still in a sell signal state on the hourly chart. On the 5 minute chart. You know, local resistance is coming to a theater near you at around 71. Bottom of the 5 minute chart's MSR channel, so be very careful. Okay, let's do a quick roundup here. We're in the last 20 minutes or so of our trade time in the morning. Then we'll take a little breather around 11 and come back in and answer questions, do a debrief of what happened, where the market's likely going, all of that jazz. Want to just do a quick temperature check of the room, make sure folks are okay. Are you making controlled, measured decisions? Okay, are you in control of your decision making? Yes, no, let me know in the chat. Okay. If you feel like you're imbalanced or you're chasing, okay, there's lots of options at that moment in time of what to do. The number one option is to stop. So I'm producing insight at a very fast clip here and continuing to repeat what's going on over and over. And we're in a transition right now that might not end up stabilizing the market. We're still waiting for the 38.2% retracement to be crossed on the NQ. The ES is trying to pull it up. Okay? And it's still a challenge. But I'm seeing, by and large, everyone saying yes, a few no's, but the majority is saying yes. So I'm happy to hear that. And Chandra, you want this particular layout? Yeah, sure. Okay, scroll down and just grab the ZIAD day and swing layout. Okay, and in that layout, there'll be a dashboard called pivots. So all I've done is I've moved one chart, beside the other. When you open it up, it'll open up with the charts all on, one chart overall. All I've done is just grabbed one chart and just moved it to the side. Right, so you can do that. It's not going to transfer over the retracements that I've drawn on, but I hope that you can see where they've been drawn. Where's my NQ 5 minute chart? Okay, there it is. So it's still doing a slow grind up. It's headed up to the 38.2% retracement. The long is still on, but it's slowed down dramatically. And without having both of the majors above their 38.2, I have to really manage this as it's very fragile, right? That's the number we need to get above. We're not that far away, 40 points or so away. The ES is continuing up. Its next local resistance is at 71, about 4 points higher. Let's see how it reacts as it's moving up there. the objective at this stage would be, ES pulls the NQ up above the 38.2. We get a solid insight that the low is likely in for the morning, if not the day. And then the move is either a direct continuation or it is a consolidate and continue. Now, because of the nature of the market flipping net short this market morning, and we know that there are strategies and volume from the Eurozone and in North America that come off the tape by 11 a.m. Eastern time, the market is still more so net short on the NQ side, more so than the ES, but still both are net short. If we do not see down start to come into play in fairly short order, right, in the next few minutes, if we don't see more down coming into play, then those that have to get off the tape will cover and we'll get a continuation up. So right now, as I say, if we don't see down, we're seeing it now. And that's not productive for an insight that, hey, the market's going to stabilize and retrace more. It's potentially the beginning of a resumption short. But I need to see more productivity to the south side to want to short it. So I'm going to just be patient here and wait. And that makes sense, Wes. The ES has not quite breached the bottom of its MSR channel. The NQ is breaching it right now on a 1 minute time frame. It's breaching the MSR channel bottom. There's a little bit more of an impulse to sell here. When you look at it on the ES side, we're still holding above the top, right? It still has been the mop, right? It mopped up the blood in the street that the NQ spilt. But there are so many names that are cross-pollinated between the two in terms of what's listed in the indices. And hence, if the NQ starts to come unglued, it can drag the ES back down, and it's threatening that right now. So we've already done the work for where a resumption short makes sense. The numbers will change as time and price move forward. The last you heard from me was 28,160 to 130-ish or 140-ish was the zone I would be looking for a short. It's moved up. I can conceive of taking a resumption short below 200 now. But alas, we are not there. The ES continues to try to pull us up at this stage. And I'm kind of itching to take a trade, but I'm holding myself back. What you're seeing over here with the triangles oscillating rapidly is something that I taught about yesterday. And of course, I've been sharing with you. It's part of the Triple S toolkit. It's called the PTC pattern, the pre-trade conditioning pattern. We have an up, we have a down, we have an up, we have a down, we have an up. Okay. And we know that typically, if we're left with the up and we're looking for a move higher, we want to see the crossover happen in the lower quadrant of the 4-quadrant channel. It's happening in the upper half. It's not ideal. But if we are to see price now close with 2 bars sequentially higher above the MSR channel top, or 1 bar with the double green dots from the Triple S tool, the pattern on close of that 1 minute bar with the double green dots, or on close of the 2 bars sequentially rising, the pattern's engageable for a long side trade. Now, ideally, we get a short side signal, not a long side signal. We're left with a down triangle, and we can get a resumption short, and the market just gets pummeled down into the Eurozone close. But if we're not moving down in short order, shorts are going to get the net short positioning in the market. It's still skewed to that side, is going to come undone, and they have to buy to cover, and that'll create a mechanical lift. So that's the negotiation right now. So I like the fact that I'm seeing the down triangle flash on. The bar is still alive, so we need to let it play out its lifespan here. If the down triangle remains, then we're going to be looking for 1 bar below the bottom of the MSR. So it remains 1 bar below the MSR channel with the double red dots above it, or 2 bars sequentially moving lower, and then down the hatch it can go. New Triple S students, did that make sense to you? Let me know in the chat. And of course, existing Triple S students as well, but especially those of you that are new, I'm putting some extra focus on that because we are getting the oscillating signals right now. It would be ideal if it was down, but if we're left with an up, it will still be a valid trade. It's just one that one would probably want to do with less size. And the ES is still, it broke 71. It's about to hit 75 very likely at this moment, and we're breaking up right now. Right? So be careful. There should now at this stage, we're getting into this time window, 1047 to 1053, where if we're not going down during this window, the 6-minute window, we can get shot straight up into the end of the hour. Just be aware of that. Chandra, I'm happy to hear that. That's good. Just take great care with the position. Has to be contiguous, Alex. 2 bars in a row, side by side, both moving up one after the other. Or, the double dots, right? So we're left with an up. We've got 1 bar closing modestly above the channel. The next bar is rising as well. It hasn't closed yet, but the insight would be it's going to try to move higher. It's trying. And at some point, one has to make the decision if they want to be in the trade to be in the trade. Of course, it's high risk, but we're seeing 2 bars now above the top of the channel. The bar's not closed yet. It'll close in a few seconds. And we've already made a big move up. It's continuing. So PTC is engaged on the upside. It is not the ideal long because the crossovers are happening above the center of the channel. If they're happening in the lower quadrant or really the lower half, it's a better long, but it's still a long side signal. And we do also know that we've got this skewed positioning in the market where if we don't see down during this window, we're going to see the market mechanically get goosed up. And that is what's happening here. I'm trying a trade on the ES right now. I'm in it. I'm just waiting for the 10 seconds to pass and see if I can keep it. Bring it up on screen. 10 seconds have passed. I'm going to take my profit. And what I wanted to demonstrate over here, so we're at the target area that we had discussed already, and we're trying to breach it right now, and it can keep going. But the 38.2% retracement, right? We've just nudged above it, and it's the ES that pulled us up above it. The ES is actually above its 50% retracement marker. So the insight at this stage is we've probably put the low in for the morning, if not for the day. Okay. It's more solid as an insight for the morning. And the ES has been able to mop up the blood in the street that was spilt by the NASDAQ and is trying to repair it. It's obviously, just 1 bar that's closed above on a 5-minute chart basis above the 38.2, but this is very encouraging. The idea would be as we move through the end of the hour, try to get pulled up towards the 50% retracement. It's the likelier outcome. It's the likelier outcome. Let's go look at the technical signals associated with this and see if they echo that. The answer is yes, right? The PTC pattern is engaged. We also got a range breaker. Double green dots are in play now. We also had some IRBs on that close 1-minute bar. So a continuation up is likely here. We're likely going to see the ES come up to 80.5 a point. we're likely going to see the NQ try to run for 380. And the caveat for watch your back is if we're going to trade below 330 materially on the NQ, we want to be careful. Otherwise, the journey of another 50 points up is likely. That would be the likelier outcome. And it can all happen, into the end, right into the end of the hour. And the on-chart signal on the 1-minute chart is a buy, right? So the PTC is a buy bar. The 5-minute chart's evacuating its sell, right? So it can go and test the last, the second, the third. The fourth last breakout forecaster being tested on a 5-minute chart is not as common. It's a 50-50 thing, but it's a 50-50 thing, right? So as it's trying to evacuate its sell signal state, as we've ended the CTP sequence, coming back up to test the last, second, third last breakout forecaster, standard fare. That's already done now. Now, the mechanical part of the market that we have to address is if the market is more skewed to short and the volume that comes off the tape is also part of that, that volume that comes off the tape, it's coming off the tape for the day and the week, right? So it's coming off the, so it's a bigger impact. And that should be buy to cover. And that should mean up. Now, this can materialize, right into the, 10:57, 10:58 a.m. Eastern time moment. So those that are in stressed longs right now, protect yourself. While we are generally above 330, the trade is still viable to continue up. And it might be a quick pop, but it's still viable to continue up. On the ES, the next real pop would be above 81. We've gotten through structures of resistance that are important, so that's a good thing. But 81's the number. And the NQ's holding 330. So I think it's just a matter of time right now. Meaning as time starts to tick away, it's kind of a game of chicken. Do I continue hold the shorts, try to see if we get a little bit dipped down, or do I get out of the way and lock it in into the end of the hour? I think it's going to be the latter. Okay. Are you using the right template, Derek? That's the first question, right? So if you're not seeing the dots the way that they're presenting here, it's probably the wrong template. That's my guess, at least. Okay, 330 has been breached, so this is a little nerve-wracking for longs, a little nerve-wracking, right? For those who are long, it's a little nerve-wracking at this stage. And again, it's a stressed long, right? It's a stressed long. Double green dots are still there on this drop bar, but we've dropped 30 points, 30, 40 points very quickly. We're dropping into rising support. We still have about 3-4 minutes to see this thing pick itself back up, but I wouldn't want to be long right now. Right? This is not the ideal PTC pattern moment where the crossover happens in the upper half. We want the crossover to be in the bottom of the channel, ideally with the channel sloping up. So there's always degrees of how strong a particular pattern is. And you heard my comments on it from jump, right? So be careful. ES is back down to the lower 70s, holding support, trying to bounce back up like the NQ. And this might be a more orderly way to look at it. There's a lot of numbers on the screen, but the idea very simply here is the ES is trying to pull the NQ up. It's still in the gravity well of the 50% retracement marker. It's well above the 38.2. It did pull the NQ above its 38.2, but very brief, short-lived, and we're back down below it right now. The ES would have to naturally be above the top lip of the mattress here and above that, above that 50% retracement marker, which is at 72 really, in order to engender up. And I'm not seeing it there right now. Can it still whipsaw back up? Sure. That's a market. It can do anything, but there's no reason to be long right now, right? I already mentioned that several minutes ago. This was a very dangerous drop. So now, as we come into the end of the hour, the big picture insights that I want to do, we're going to do in the last half hour of the session. We're going to take a little breather at around 11 a.m. And look, don't be surprised if you see this pop up in the last minute or so of the market move, and the pop up ends up being one that takes you up to a higher high. Don't be surprised if that happens. Mechanically it can happen, and for those that are still in their longs and didn't get off the tape, you might see some benefit from that. But again, this is just market mechanics into the end of the hour with volume coming off the tape. This is not necessarily a clean signal to say that we will continue. It's still tradable. I'm trying it, actually. I'm in it right now. It's very stressed, but I'm in it. I'll see if I can bring this up in time to actually execute my exit. I want to see if we get that pop back up. I'm taking my profit. So, we came, we saw, we conquered. Profit positive morning. Yes, no, let me know, folks. Did you learn? Did you earn? If you're managing your trade right now, I know it's still nerve-wracking into the last little bit, so you don't need to respond in the chat, but I'm hopeful that you did well this market morning. I'm hopeful that you were able to come in, get the insights, understand the technical signals, get the clean, straight insight that you need to hear, and of course see it on screen and then execute away. And a successful morning on my side. I'm hopeful it was successful on your side. Whether it was learning, whether it was earning, whether it was both. Now we still have more time together for this market morning. We are going to take a break. It'll be probably a 5-minute break. Wesley, the last trade was on the pop-up with the idea of it coming, effectively getting squeezed up into the end of the hour, the shorts having to mechanically cover. That was it. I took it as price action broke above both of the speed lines, right? On the ES 1-minute chart. It was on the 10:56 a.m. Eastern time bar. So it's a good question. So it was taken on this bar. We tested the upper half of the MSR channel. After the drop, we started a very quick reversal right in that moment of time where, look, if the market's net short and we're not dropping any further, we should be squeezing up into the end of the hour, which is what's happening. It's just slow motion. But there was a bunch of shorts that covered all at once here. I saw that momentum. I took advantage of it, and I didn't stay, right? Because I don't think that I'm comfortable until I see both indices, in an area where I know the Nasdaq's not going to pollute the move anymore, and that effectively means NQ needs to be above 330. That's why I chose to trade the ES, not the NQ. It's not above that 38.2% retracement marker. It's still in dangerous territory of spilling more blood that the ES might not be able to mop up. So I traded the ES on that little mechanical move up into the end of the hour. And look, there might be some continuation here. If there is, as the hour changes, I want to see the NQ at this stage above 350, 355. And then the long is alive. So I'll leave it there. Let me see. 9:15 a.m. Naveed. 9:15 a.m. Naveed. Yeah, George, we can totally. If you're not getting the double dots on your triple S layout, we of course can pull it up. You should be able to see it the same way that I have it on. You might want to just take a swatch of my layout, or create a chart template off of it. So we can do that after we come back. So folks, I had a great morning. Looks like so many folks had a great morning. It's been a great week overall. And for those of you that are asking questions on Triple S, I am doing the session again tomorrow. So let me just get that I dotted, T crossed. Then we'll take a break. Let me just make sure I've got this right. So I did a session on Wednesday. A whole bunch of students joined the Triple S student family on a Wednesday. I want to make sure that I, let me just make sure I've got this right. So I did a session on Wednesday. A whole bunch of students joined the Triple S student family on a Wednesday. I want to make sure that I, let me just make sure I've got this right. So I did a session on Wednesday. A whole bunch of students joined the Triple S student family on a Wednesday. I want to make sure that I get that invite to you for tomorrow. I'm going to be doing the session again tomorrow. I'll have some more examples and trying to find the link. Okay, I found it. Okay, so here you go. You asked, I answered. I'm coming back in tomorrow morning, August the 1st, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Pacific. And I'm going to be doing the Triple S session again. Those that are new to the Triple S student family, I would encourage you to come again to make sure you solidify your learning. Right? This is a good session to come in to understand the raw nature of the tool, the innards of the tool, go through a bunch of examples. And I know some of you are asking, ask me during the week from Wednesday onwards, how do you become a Triple S, an owner of the indicator? Well, an offer will be made tomorrow. So you're more than welcome to come in and kick the tires on that with me. The session tomorrow will be about an hour and a half, somewhere around in that territory, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So it's good to, especially for adult learning, repetition tends to work quite a bit. If you're interested in getting beaten over the head again with the rules of the tools to make high probability decisions, like you saw me do again today, well, I'm going to be doing that session again live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I can't wait to see you there. And of course, we're going to take a quick break here. I'm not going to be gone for very long, maybe 5 minutes or so. 5-6 minutes. I do want to get another beverage here, and then we can jump back in and continue the conversation. So let's say 11:10. Let's say 11:10. We'll be back here and continue the conversation. For those that have to leave, I understand that. For those who want questions answered, administrivia answered, want a debrief on the morning, want an outlook of where the market's likely going, that's the kind of stuff that I'm going to do from 11:10 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. All right, folks. So let me take your leave for a few minutes over here, get a quick break in. Would suggest doing the same. And we'll see you back here very shortly, folks. Stay tuned. Well, hello there, everyone. I am back. Hope folks are doing well. Let's get right back into the conversation here. So, what I want to do with the next 20 minutes is really answer questions, give you a little view of where I think things are going. I think there were already several questions that have come in, and they can be questions on all sorts of things. Analyze this. Give me a layout code, or explain why this is why this layout's going this way or not working, or whatever it may be. All is welcome at this stage. So I'm going to start scraping through the chat in a moment, but what I'm going to start off doing is just giving you my bigger picture outlook here. And also, it may seem like we have an opportunity for a little short trade for those who have tried it already. Maybe it's already working for you. Just take great care here. We are still in an area where the retrace on the ES is not fully done. Right, we come back down below the 38.2% retracement on the ES. The NASDAQ is spilling some blood. It's dragging the ES down. So those that are trying shorts right now, as the ES comes into support of 61, you want to be careful with your shorts. I want to be careful with your shorts as we come down into that 61-ish area. But it is still working. And what I would, for those who are short, just know that if the NQ sustains below 235-ish, this Humpty Dumpty can fall, and all the king's men, all the king's horses won't be able to put them back together again. We were looking for the solid insight where at least both indices were above the 38.2% retracement of the range to tell us that the low is in for the day. We saw, a fleeting breach above the 38.2 on the NQ, and the ES got above its 50% retracement, got above the top lip of the mattress, but it wasn't able to sustain. So right now, I don't think I want to flip to the side where the whole thing unravels, but I want you to be aware that if the NQ comes down below 235, which it was below just moments ago, it can pull the ES down, and it can just break the market back down towards the lows. Right now, we should look at this as more so a cup and handle formation. And if we end up coming back up above 28,340, 350, there's the potential for a continuation back up. Now, before I go any further here, I want to just go and scrape through the chat and make sure that I've got that covered. So I know there's a lot of questions that came in. Looking at SpaceX and Bitcoin, that's your request, Bart. I see that. Okay. And Ed, you're asking for tutorials in the video section for the indicators. Sure, we can definitely do that. And Jeff L, you're asking about, have you traded using the 5-minute chart and stay with trade in case? Yeah, I take a lot of short-term moves and pieces of the moves in the attempt to show you that there's multiple entries available, right? If I wanted to set and forget a direction, I can definitely do that as well. And you know what? We might introduce that in next week's sessions. Where I'll just take in one account, one directional trade based on the insight that we have from the technical tools, and I'll do more shorter term trades in another account. And I think that that'll be helpful to folks, because I've had you request that, someone else requests something like that as well. And Gerardo, tomorrow's session is not recorded, but you were there yesterday, right? For the session, the private session in the afternoon, the Triple S session. That was recorded. It should be posted already. I haven't checked. And Wesley, 9:15 to 11:30, and then again from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So I'm on quite a bit, Wesley. Those are the hours. And I know George and Derek, you're both asking about the double dots, and they weren't showing up on your template. So I'm gonna look at that as well with you. And I think that catches me up to a bunch. Okay, so now we're getting a little lift right now. What's this lift based on? I do not know yet. Might be a positive headline, potentially. It could be. Don't know yet. Let's see where it goes. So as of right now, we're seeing the NQ being pulled up and the ES at the same time. But is it going to last? I don't know. What I want to do is just start off the big conversation with, where do I think things are going overall? I think that it's not really any different than what we discussed at the beginning of the week, right? At the beginning of the week, I gave you my outlook for the market overall, and it hasn't really changed. The idea of the market being held up, pushed up by the Mag 7 stock earnings, and then faltering and coming back down after that is still what I'm thinking is the likeliest outcome. Next week, we do have SpaceX. I think it's on August the 4th. But, I provided these flight paths at the beginning of the week to active trader room students. We did not get up to the 75.50 area. We were on plan B, or a version thereof. We came down to the bottom, and you heard me say, hey, I think that we're going to try to get pushed right back up. I think that there's a chance for us to get above the 74.85 area through Microsoft. We did that. And then I said, hey, that opens the door for a move up into the 75.50-ish area. Probably not any more than that. And we didn't get up all the way, back to that area or through it. If you look at the big picture here, let me see if I can make this full screen again and look at the big picture charts here with you. All I'm going to do is just give you a concise outlook. We're in the uptrend channel. We're in the upper half of the channel. All good there. As we look at the zoomed in version of this, let me just get rid of we'll leave the retracement on for now. But as we look at this, the center of the channel is sitting all the way down here in the 74.07-ish area. Getting through this concrete ceiling is unlikely. It's more likely that any up that we have for the remainder of the day, ends up being retraced back down in the front end of next week. Call it Sunday night, Monday. So I'm open to a continuation after yesterday's momentum. Today can be a pause, open the door for a little higher, wobble a little to the downside, but don't unravel. Have a continuation up Sunday night that can take us up towards the ceiling and then back down again. And to be very clear about it, let me get that off the screen. Let's see if I can do this properly. Give me a second here. My apologies. Okay. So the idea would be very simply, from where we are through Monday midday, the expectation that I would have based on what I know right now, and assuming price does not come down below 74.07 by the end of the day and close below there, the insight would be we come up to the set of nested volume point of control lines in this territory, and they span from really 75.40 all the way up to 75.60. We come into this ceiling, we engage it, and then we start coming back down again. That is the likeliest next move. Now, the alternative, if we want to signal for the alternative, there's two levels that are going to matter. Look at the volume profile node sticking out here. Let me make this full screen. So right here, okay, around the 74.50 area, if we close below 74.50, it's not game over for up, right? But if we close below 74.50, it is more likely that we're going to come back down to retest the center of that long-term channel before we bounce up again. So if you're watching the market into the end of the day, end of the week, and you find it below 75.50, expectations would be Sunday night, we're coming down to the center of that long-term channel, the lower 7400s, followed by a bounce back up. Where that bounce can take us, I don't know. ... I'd have to analyze that. If we end up closing somewhere in the upper 7400s, call it 7460 or higher, it is more likely that we come up into the set of nested volume point of controls in the low to mid 7500s, and then start a move back down. So that's the insight that I want to make sure is very clear and there for you on the primary market. And the NASDAQ would be following that move effectively. The NASDAQ would be following that move effectively. So we can pull up the NASDAQ in a second here. I just need to grab a couple of things on another screen here to help answer some of the questions that are coming in. So bear with me for a moment while I get that done. So for those that are asking, I see a lot of questions from folks that were in attendance yesterday, that wanted to attend, that may not have attended the live training yesterday that was done on Triple S. I'm going to start answering that question right now. It's the Triple S Resource Center. So if you're an owner of the indicator now, you're going to be able to go access the Triple S Resource Center. The link's in your chat. So you'll be able to access that. And the video's been posted from yesterday. There it is. There's our session. So I'll just plop it in here. I'm just going to mute it so that I don't have to hear myself here. And that's me yesterday taking you through the Triple S session. So the link is in your chat. That answers that question. So I hope that that's fairly clear. Now, I did tell you that I'd give you a little view of the NQ. All I'm going to say is the NQ is likely going to follow the ES move. If we want to get detailed about the NQ move, let me get rid of the retracement for now and give you that picture. We've had an incredible reversal in momentum. An indecisive day is not uncommon after that. It's not uncommon after that. And Ed, that link that I just put in the chat, it'll only work if you, you're not seeing the link? Okay, there it is. If you're not an owner of the indicator, you don't have permission to see that site, right? So if you're an owner of the indicator, you'll be able to access that page. But I put it back into the chat for you. For the NQ, we're above the center of the long-term channel, but it's very dangerously close to it. The center line, earlier in the week was sitting at 28,135. It's now moved up to about 185. Okay, and that's an important number to close above. If we close below it, it can be what drags the ES lower on Sunday night before a bounce back up. It can be what drags the ES down to the lower 7400s. So ideally, what we see into the end of the day today is the ES closing somewhere above 7460, the NQ closing, ideally by a fair margin above 28,185. And the insight, again, would be up Sunday night, and gauge it with the ES. The ES goes up Sunday night, rising up towards the set of nested volume point of control lines over here, and then gets batted back down as we move through Monday morning. That would be the idea. How far up can it pull the NQ? Well, if we make the, if I just theoretically, if we close above 28,185 and the ES is above 7460, 7470 into the end of the day today, the NQ could get pulled up all the way to close to 29,000 before I move back down again. Right, so I'm just setting an expectation for you based on probability. So there's that. Now, I know that there were some questions on where to find videos and the double green dots and the dots on the layout. So I want to dot the I's, cross the T's on that. If you're looking for videos that can be good tutorials for you on the Champion Trend Pack Toolkit, simply go to the hamburger menu, go over to Education, go over to Wealth Charts TV. That's the on-demand Wealth Charts section. I'll just pop that on the screen here. And then the very first module at the top left-hand side of the screen, very first module here that's titled Wealth Charts Prop Trader Training. Go there, open that up, and then I have a class that I did over here. You can see my class right over here. Watch Rob's classes for sure. Okay, watch Rob's classes for sure. The one that I did over here, I can speak to the contents of that class. What I do in that class is I break out each of the Champion Trend Pack indications, the 5 indications, show you how they work together in a sequence, 3-stage sequence, and how to trigger trades using that. And then I combine it with the Spike 2.0 tool. Then I combine it with the speed lines. So you'll have a robust, on-demand reference guide right there for you for those who are asking. Now, for those who are asking about how do you use the Triple S indicator, well, join me tomorrow. Join me tomorrow at the session, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Pacific. But if you're already a Triple S student, you can, of course, go to the Resource Center, as I mentioned, and you can watch yesterday's video and all of the other well-curated videos. And layout codes are there at the very bottom of the Resource Center page, so you can go there and explore the layouts that you want. Now, I know George and I know Derek, you were asking about why you aren't seeing the double green dots or red dots and the blue dots. My suggestion is, and I'll just show you the process, right? I'll just show you the process here. You go to the hamburger menu, go over. Let me just do it with a new, a fresh wealth charts instance here. So give me a second here to pop one up on the other screen. And what we're getting close to the end of our time together, so I want to make quick work of this. Well, let's see if I can get this done. Okay, so you can effectively go to the hamburger menu. You can go down to where it says layouts premium. Okay, scroll down, find my layout that's titled ZIAD's Triple S right there. I'll pop that up right now. Okay. And what I would encourage you to do is to create a swatch of the layout that you like, right? So you can see the double dots are there, single dots are there. This does not have the champion trend pack on it, this dashboard, but this one does. You can create swatches of the way that the indicators are formatted and the indications that are present on the chart. And it's a very easy process with wealth charts. It just makes it super easy for you. You simply right click on the screen, you go over to chart templates, you go over to save, okay, save, and you can title this. So I can go, hey, this is the triple S package. It's also got the MSR channel on it. It's got the speed lines on it. And it's in light mode, right? So I can just put that in there if I want to. And then I can put a date behind it if I want to, July 31st, all right, 26. And I can save it, right? I can save it just like that. I can do the same thing with the other one over here that has the champion trend pack, right? I can right click on it. I can go to chart templates. I can go save. And I can go, hey, this has got the triple S package. This has got the champion trend pack toolkit. This has got wealth chart member exclusive tools. It's also got the MSR channel and the speed lines. And I can say it's in light mode so that I'm able to understand that. And then I can put a date behind it as well, July 31st. Oh, let's get that right, 31st, 26. And save it as a swatch. What I'm doing effectively by saving this chart template is I'm saving like a format painter. So I can go open up any chart right now. Let's just go open up a chart. Let's just go, add chart, right? I'll just open up a blank chart and make it full screen. I'll just put a futures contract in there. Let's just put NQ in there. Okay, let's just put NQ in there. And that's how it's natively going to present. Then I can right click on the screen and go over to chart templates, and I can go open and scroll down. And this is a futures, a futures configuration, which is how I've kind of saved it as a futures configuration. And if I want the one that just has the triple S, the MSR, the speed lines in light mode, I just click that and bingo, bango, it's done. It's on, right? I don't have to futz around with anything. It's already there. If I want the one that I saved with the champion trend pack and the wealth chart member exclusive tools, I go to chart template, I'll go to open. And now that I've saved that swatch, I can just apply it. Done, right? It's there, ready to go. So that should take care of the issue that folks were asking about over there. And now we're at the end of our time together. We are seeing a little weakness in the market here, but I'm hopeful that you had a great morning overall. I'm hopeful that you were able to walk away with some learning, some earning, and I'm hopeful that it was a good time as well. You got my insight on the market at a market level. The ES has come back down, to the bottom of the 1 hour charts MSR channel. 5-minute charts in a sell signal state, 1 minute charts in a sell signal state at this stage. So take great care at this stage. If we are in the day that I think we're in, I still think that we're going to have a rebound back up, but it might take some time before that happens. And Bill M, you're saying, what is the name of the tutorial you created from the champion trend indicator? Well, it's right over here, hamburger menu, education, wealth charts TV. All right, go to the wealth charts TV. It's in the prop trader training module. So you click that, And it's right there. It's right there. All right, folks, that's it for me for this session. I'll be back on Wealth Charts at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope you had an incredible morning. I was profit positive. Still a 4-digit gain on the day. Looking forward to building on that before the day is out. Can't wait to see you at tomorrow's session. I'm going to be doing that special Triple S session starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. So feel free to join me there. If you want to learn more about the Triple S Toolkit, you can simply go to becomebettertrader.com/yes. Those who want to see me on Wealth Charts will see me there. And I think it's time for Tori and Dave on FFF. So I'm going to make some room for them. Have an incredible rest of your day, folks. Thanks for taking the time to be here. Bye for now, all.